Hello everybody, it's Mr. Mulvihill here. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, we're doing it. Um, you guys did a pretty good job on that last assignment. So for today we got our learning goal of I can get information from functions represented by equations, tables, and graphs. The tables and graphs part will be the new part. You've already done equations. So let's get warmed up with an equation in example 1. Read along with me. The cost of a pizza at Domino's depends on the number of toppings one puts on it. Domino's creates the function p of x equals 0.75x plus 650 that tells the customer the price p of x for getting x toppings. Evaluate p of 3. So if you remember, all that means is we're going to plug the 3 in for the x in the equation. So we'll get 0.75 times 3 plus 650. That's going to be 225 plus 650. So we'll get p of 3 equals 875. And what does that tell you? Well, if x is the toppings, and all the things highlighted in red represent x, so the 3, the x, and the toppings, we know that 3 is toppings, and 875 must be the price. So a 3-topping pizza costs $8.75. That's all. All right. So now example 2. You guys should be able to write this just on the Google Docs, which should be very nice for you. I hope. Evaluate the following functions. F of x equals x squared plus 4x, and g of x equals negative 3x plus x over 2 plus 4. So g of 6 means we're going to use the g function. We're going to plug in 6 for x, so we're going to get negative 3 times 6 plus 6 over 2 plus 4. If you plug that onto your calculator, or if you do it individually, negative 18 plus 3 plus 4, you should get g of 6 equals negative 11. It's important to have that g of 6 there too, not just negative 11. All right, f of 5. So to do that, we'll use the f function. We'll plug in 5 for x, so we'll get 5 squared plus 4 times 5. Maybe put parentheses around that first 5. That would work too. Preferably preferred. 25 plus 20, so f of 5 equals 45. And the last two, f of 1 and g of 0. Why don't you pause the video and try those out? All right, f of 1, you get 1 squared plus 4 times 1. So you get 1 plus 4. And that equals 5. So f of 1 equals 5. G of 0, if you plug in 0 every time there's an x, negative 3 times 0 plus 0 divided by 2 plus 4, you ultimately just get 4. Hope you guys got those ones right. Okay. So for A through D, all we did was plug in the number in parentheses for what? Like for this, the last one we just did, the g of 0. Oops. What did we do with that 0? The number in parentheses. We plugged it in for x. And what we got out was a y, which is really just like f of x. F of x and y are the same thing. Okay? So now we're going to take our talents to example 3 here, where we don't have an equation, but we have a graph. Equations, graphs, and tables are the different ways we can get information from functions. So, the graph below shows the price f of x for playing x games at the arcade. Before we take a look at this, if x is games, then let's write games on our x-axis here. And if f of x is the same as y and represents the price, then let's put price right here. Okay. So f of 3. How are we going to do this? This is a graph. We can't really plug in 3 for x. But wait, if this was normal, if you look up to what we just did, what we would normally do with that 3 is plug it in for x. So what that must mean is that the 3 equals x. So we'll go to our graph where x is 3, and there's no point there, of course. But if you follow the line, it would really be like right there. So that's going to equal 450. All right. Next one, let's change this f of 5 to a f of 6. Hopefully it'll make more sense. So f of 6 means that the x equals 6. So then if you go up to 6 right here, and you follow this little red laser, you're going to get to your point. And your point says that 6 will be 6 right there. And this would tell us, and this tells us says 6 games would cost $6. We can get information from this stuff. All right. I hope this information will make a little more sense. We're going to do a bunch of practice now. Sorry, I messed up on that graph a little bit. I apologize. All right. So let's look right here. Evaluating functions graphically. Example 4. Look at the graph to evaluate. We have b of x. I'm looking right over here. So the first one, b of 2. Well, that means that x equals 2. So we're going to go to our graph where x equals 2. And that is going to be right there. And then we're going to simply go up until we get to our point. Our point is right there, and that y value that goes with it is 1. So that's our answer. Next one. This means x equals -2, so we go where x is -2, -1, -2. We find our point that goes with it right there. And what's that y value? -1. All right. Next one, b of 1. So go to where x equals 1 on your graph. And what's the y value? Pause the video. What's the y value that goes with it? Should be this one. So what's that y value? -2. That's all. Go to the x value and see what the y is. X equals -1. So figure that one out. Where does x equal -1? And then look up or down for the point. X is -1. Here's your point. What y is that? That y is 1. So find your point. Find your point. What y number is it? Because we're trying to find b of 1, b of -2. All that b of x, f of x, that's all y. That's all it means. All right, next one. Evaluate the function f of x at the given values. Now we don't have a graph. We have more of like a set of ordered pairs. But it's the same idea. F of 0, 0 means that's our x number. So x equals 0. Well, which point has x being 0? Look at right over here. Which point has x being 0? This one. X is 0 right here. So what's the y that goes with it? 3. So f of 0 equals 3. F of 1. Find the point that has x equal 1. That should be right there. And the y that goes with the x is 1 is 3 as well. Still a function though. X's don't repeat. C and then D. Try that on your own real quick. Pause the video. Alright, you should be getting -2 for this one. And f of -2 will equal 3. Alright. Example 6. Here we go. We got a graph again, so it's the same idea. Evaluate the function t of x at the given values. T of -1. So you're going to go to where x is -1. Because x equals -1. That's right here. You're going to follow it up till you hit a point. And what y number is that? 3. These definitely take a little bit to get used to, but you should get it eventually. T of negative 4, go to where x is negative 4. That's right here. And look, we're already at a point. And that point, that y number is 0. T of 0, that's right there. You'll also get 0 for that. And then t of negative 2 is right here. Go to where you hit the point. You'll get 4. All right. And then the last part here is, again, functions can be represented by equations, graphs, tables, these mapping diagrams we have in example 7. So in example 7, h of 4, well, that's our x, and inputs are x. So if you follow it along the path from 4, you'll get 2. Our y is 2. H of 0, you'll get 3. And then h of 5 actually isn't there, so we say it's not computable. All right, so you guys just got to do example 8 for your homework. You just got 6 questions there. But for your assignment, you still need to have 1 through 7 on your Google Docs or on your piece of paper. All right? Have a great rest of your day, guys. And if you need any help, just let me know. Shoot me a quick message or email.